Ask you a quick question, Tamar. Ask you a question.
Sure.
Was the P1cruiser really that bad?
I actually don't hate it.
Building a chassis for it right now. Rear-wheel drive conversion, LS swap.
So that makes it a lot better.
Okay.
That makes it a lot better. So I think you're going in the right direction, man.
Stacking every month, put that work in. I deserve to stand. Bring the baddies to the front. It's the type of life that I want. It's the type of life that I want. It's the type of life that I want. Yeah. It's the type of life that I want. It's the type of life that I want. Look, I deserve some time away. I feel good cause I'm posted. Just won't put my feet in the sand. Ain't trying to be far from oceans. Don't want stress about nothing, just fruit and wine, I'm floating. Little vacation, little mimosa, yeah. Solo trips ain't really doing nothing but chillin'. Catch my eye, I might get active before it's back to business.
Alright, so here's where we're at. Got everything squared back up. This way, that way, that way. Every which way. Squared up to how I want it, or how I think it should be. Tack the plates back on. This one I knocked off. I just had some bad tacks on it, so cranked up the heat a little bit, got some more heat in there, a couple more tacks on it. Before, I think I just put like 2 on it. Now I have 1 on each side, or 3 out of 4 sides, so it's solid. Yeah, that angle is definitely looking a lot more manageable. So we'll see how, well, I said they're already tacked on there, so I think I already ruled out the K member, just save that hassle. I know a lot of people are going to say with this being a vertical weld here, that's going to be a stress point, which it is. Excuse me. So I'll be sure to do something, I think, because this bottom is cut fairly flush with the other one. If I get that ground down, once I tie it into here, I'll bend a piece to match that and fish plate it that way. Because this probably get trimmed up, probably rounded out and then boxed in. So I'm not gonna leave that sharp corner there. Obviously it's probably gonna be cut alongside this body line here. Yeah, I'll probably transfer over, and then all this will be boxed in and plated up, gusted, whatever you want to call it. So I know it's gonna be vertical here, but I am gonna reinforce it somehow. If anything, I might cut a slit in the side of it and put a 3/16 inch plate there and weld that in, so it won't have any room to really wiggle around. But that'll be at a little bit later date. But yeah, we're going to get the cardboard, cut it out, match it to the shape. I'm going to have to do both sides because I think one side, with this being angled, it's going to be slightly longer than the other, if that makes sense. Where this will be flat, this will be flat, and then this being at an angle, I guess it depends on how I cut it. So if I cut it even, we'll be fine, but it is at somewhat of an angle. So I'm pretty much going to have to build that section out of cardboard, then transfer it over to the metal and cut it exactly like it should be. I might have to trim it up a little bit, but get this all cut out, get that cut out. I'm going to try not to move this at all. I know it's going to be difficult when I cut this, but we'll get it figured out. We will get it figured out. So right now it's pretty steady, or not this, it's in place, so I could put it back into place how I want it if I do move it. But right now I should be able to get all the measurements off of it and see where I want to cut the frame rail, and then we'll worry about this section later. I just want to get this at least cut out, tacked into place. Once that's tacked into place, then I can worry about the front half. But I know if I try to do too much at once, if I change something back here, it's going to change something up here. So I might as well just do one side at a time, and we'll go from there. Alright, so alright, so I have a taco made up. I really can't put the top end on because it wouldn't fit with it not being cut out. So I'm trying to just cut once, so I'm gonna measure a bunch of times, but that's kind of how it's gonna look. If I could angle it in a little bit, I'll try to have it line up with this line, so I know I'm going to notch that out. And then, like I said, obviously this is going to be cut out and boxed in, but for the most part, that's what it's going to look like. Like I said, I'll have to add a little bit there. The back sides are pretty flush on it, and yeah, that's how it's going to look. So the angle, like I said, it is not as steep, so flattened out a little bit, but it's still a pretty decent angle on it. But I feel more comfortable with that. Like I said, we'll weld up there. We'll probably grind this all down and put a plate there, so that'll be extra secure. And then be able to weld it to a little bit of the floor here. Like I said, it's not much there. That's pretty thin, but most of the bulk's gonna come from getting this all boxed in and trimming this up. So as we trimmed up, make it look nice, probably just close out all this. So it'll probably be another 3/16 plate there, little triangle piece, close all this up, and then the back side will be all welded up back here, boxed in. So all this will be boxed in too once we're finished with it. So I'm gonna try to add a lot of strength here. I know that's gonna be a high stress point, so the more we get it boxed in, closed in, and all that, the better. So what I'm gonna do now, we'll make a new side for the other side, so that way I don't get them mixed up, because they are going to be slightly different, I believe, because these rails right here aren't the same on both sides, even though they are going to a plate, which I could see if this side will work on it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to make its own piece. If that makes sense. So, and then the top also, you see I'm going to have a little lip on the top of here, so that I'll close that up too and plate all that. Like I said, just gonna be a little bit more added strength. Let's see about that. So that side, like I said, is slightly longer on the inside than the outside, so I'll keep that in mind. So I'll probably cut like that, and then I'll cut this piece out or grind it down to make it a nice fit. And then, like I said, right in here, I'll leave a little bit extra, and we'll just grind it down to what we need. But yeah, that extra piece will come in here, or that's the piece I had left over from the first 2x4 piece, and then have another 4 feet of it. So one section there, one section there. Yeah, we should have more than enough, but that will be for that one. And then we'll get some more cardboard, start mocking up this side, and I'll cut you guys back on when it's time to cut everything out. Alright, so it's a little tougher than I thought. It didn't line up exactly how I wanted it to, or how I thought with the cuts. But then again, like I said, if I would probably remove that and cut it, then it wouldn't have been lined up to here, so I had to work with the room I had, and I got it tacked in for the most part. Some ugly tacks, but there's some tacks. So a couple tacks here and a few on the other side. Eventually I'll go through, fill in all of it, and then Alright, so I have a few ugly welds, but I'm gonna clean all those up. Those will get ground down, and a fish plate there. And also probably plate here and here. Along with that, I'll close that up also. A little gap right in there. But yeah, just ran out of wire. Don't feel like throwing a new roll on there just yet. I have one more, I think, of the 0.30. I think that's 0.35. Or no, that's 2.3. So that's a little small. But yeah, we'll throw a new roll on tomorrow and finish welding all this up. Like I said, this one's not too bad. You see the heat getting in there. So go through, we'll grind that down. Same thing, fish plate there. Finish welding down there, clean that up, fish plate. And same thing on this side, finish welding that up. I'll, brace that and brace that. Close this out, and then cut some of the floor back and get the top on both sides. Finish welding in this plate on the back and the bottom, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we'll get back on the PT today. I've been doing a little bit of welding on it. Still have a little bit of time left on the bottle, so go and get as much welding as we can till the bottle runs out. Have a new spool of wire in there, so it should be good for a little bit. As far as the cross member, it's not supported by anything, so we're making some progress. Just floating there now. You see the welds. That's from the back side, so it's getting good heat through it. Okay, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna cut the floor back right in this section on both sides, so I can weld the top of these and then the top of the rail back here. So that'll be the plan. And I did notice I cut the wire speed up a little bit, so I guess that gives me a little bit more amperage on it. So for the thicker metal, we should be good. I did start to grind some of this down a little bit, and then some of the welds where you got these little re-welded it where it wasn't welded all the way. Like I said, so you definitely tell it's getting a good weld. But grind this down, we'll fish plate it, and then obviously we'll clean it up, make it all look nice. All these, I'm not gonna grind these down. If you see them, you see them. But so what? I'm not professional, but we are learning. So like I said, we're getting some good penetration through there. You obviously see the heat coming out the other side, so those are all good. Yes, it's sturdy. It's not even connected yet, so that's just floating. So the goal is to try to connect this today, so probably have to figure out the angles and tie this in. Like I said, this will be fish plated also when we get there. But I think I'm gonna start just by like I said, cutting this back, give me access to the top of both these frame rails, knock those out, and then that shouldn't take too long. And then just come up here and probably get some more cardboard. Let's see how I want to connect it, because it would just about fit in here, but that'd have to be angled up a little bit. So to get something flush, I don't know how wide the radiator is. I wish I had the other one here so I could see, because ideally that would be the best bet. Just weld it right here. Like I said, at the radiator, depending on how wide it is, it might get in the way. So I would love to find like the one that fits, so it'll probably be a PT radiator. If I could find like a 2 or 3 core, which I think I've seen a couple 2 cores. I don't think I've seen a 3 core yet, but I know probably aluminum radiator and a huge fan. Well, a fan that moves a lot of CFMs, so keep this thing cool because yeah, it is a smaller engine bay. But yeah, so that would be ideal. Just boom, right there with a plate. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So it might be something like that. But we'll see.
I've been on the grind all summer. I could really use a bag right now. Yeah, I've been on the grind all summer. Yeah. But I could really use a bag right now. I just need a bag. Need a bag right now. Need a bag right now. Yeah, I just need a bag. Need a bag right now. Need a bag right now. I just need a bag now. I'm just milking this. See, I'm a cash cow. If I hear about another lame rapper in the game, can't promise I ain't gon' lash out. I just want a bag, need a bag, yeah. Good dripping and finesse, got the swag, yeah. Knocking over any rapper in my path, yeah.
Alright, so I don't know where I left off on you guys. It's gonna be a long video, but the front is 90% done. I still have to do the fish plates, but we are welded in all the way. So like I say, I will probably fish plate the top and the bottom of this. It'd be easier to match that curve. Sides here, we'll put a little L bracket or something here on both sides, so box that in. Yeah, they're not the prettiest, but they will hold. There's heat going through it. You can see the heat. It did make it through. I'll grind it down like that. Like I said, you can see it's one solid piece. So might be a few little areas up in here I might have to touch up. But yeah, we are welded all the way around, and we're good to go. Next, I'll just cut these out. It's gonna be the fun part. See how much room I actually have in this engine bay. But yeah, I'm excited. I am excited. It's almost time to start looking for wheels. So I might not get the wheel. Well, I'll get a cheap set off Marketplace. Try to stay under. What am I doing? It's on the camera settings. So probably try to stay around 150, 200 bucks. Ideal thing would be to get a second set of Camaro wheels. Be the same bolt pattern. See if I can get them in 18. Then again, it'll be easy to sell those again if I need to. I know it's a jacked up haircut. 3 different barbers, or 2 different barbers, and they couldn't fix it. So I don't know. But yeah, we'll get some wheels for it because I have a buddy asking about the stock wheels. He wants to put snow tires on his PT. No, the PT is making a comeback. I don't care what anybody says. Well, like the GTs and the Dream Cruisers and the turbo ones. The regular ones, not so much. But yeah, get a cheap set of wheels for this. I could set it back down. We do have the triangulated 4-link system coming. We already have the frame rails, 2 7-foot sections back there, so should be more than enough. I still need to order the rear coilovers, so need to order those. The ones that came with the kit, well, I could have got them with or without it when I did the triangulated 4-link. The ones that came with it were a lot taller, which I don't need a lot taller for this, and there's a lot more travel than what I need. So I'll get some shorter ones. That'll be about another 600 bucks, which is, it's starting to add up. Still need the third member. Still need brakes for the rear. Still need to set all this up. But yeah, when I did these, I was gonna bring. Ooh, it's still hot. I was gonna bring them out to about here, but I figured with the wheel turning and everything, I want to leave a little bit of room, so that's why I angled them like they are, which should be more than enough room. Shouldn't be any rubbing. Same thing with back here. Like I said, this is where the stock ones would have stopped at, and I know it's not gonna be that much turn angle, but should be good there. Then up front, they are angled out, so accessory drive and all that, more than enough room. Radiator should fit in between here, so that's plenty of room. Yeah, it's it's definitely starting to take shape, and it's, like I said, it's solid. Well, this is solid. The car is a little questionable, but it's not going anywhere. Yeah, so eventually I'll probably fish plate it the next couple days. Just have to get ready for the show in the springs. So we do have some goodies that came in for the Monty. Been following that. We have the missing part, so I need to get out here, pull the transmission back out, change out the flex plate. But we are sticking with this, and then we're getting there. My buddy just sent me an article on, I think it's Moparty. It's a Mopar event, and there's another white PT Hemi swapped 4L80E, making like almost 600 horses. So I'm not the only one that's crazy enough to build these things. But yeah, we are making some progress. 600 might be pushing it, but I'd be happy with some 5 to the wheels. But yeah, just a little bit more to go. We'll probably trim this piece up here once we box everything in, clean everything up, make some room for an exhaust, cut the transmission tunnel out some more, so pretty much the whole hump right there will be cut out. But yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. Like I said, fish plate that. We'll box that off. We'll probably box these in. Well, you know what? If I did a straight piece, I'd probably come out to here, weld that up, and that'd be somewhat fish plated, and then just really just put a plate on top. That's probably what I'll do. So let's see. Oh yeah, so piece there, I'll just pretty much brace this and we should be good. So yeah, I'll close that out. Same thing with this back side. I'll probably just close this out and then actual fish plate there, and then need to close that out. But yeah, we're getting there. Man, I didn't think I'd get to this point, but I like it. I like it. I did put a plate here also, just to close this opening up. Like I said, I know that tied into it, so I didn't want to cut that off or have to remake that. So that stayed. But yeah, like I said, she's solid. She is solid. Can't wait to get some wheels on it, back on the ground, and then we'll start on the back half. Like I said, we'll probably cut the wheel tubs out slightly, and then pretty much all the floor from here back probably be cut out. Need a measure for a fuel cell, but that's later on down the road. Just really be getting the back half started once the parts come in. Like I said, I could have cheaped out, but to make it easy, QA1 has a triangulated 4-link kit. You could cut the lower and upper bars to length, which a lot of kits did not have that. And it also came with the crossbars for well, there'll be one up front and there'll be one in the rear for the rear coilovers. Came with all the brackets except for the ones up front, so like a leaf spring bracket, so I had to order that separate. But we'll go over that when all that gets here. Today was just pretty much completing the Mustang 2 front suspension in the PT. I know the P1cruiser used this, and then that white one I was just telling you guys about, they used I think a C4 pretty much K-member. So there's more than one way to do it, but I think this is how I did it. So it is looking good. I can't tell you, like the P1cruiser, the pictures I have, there's like a whole bunch of different angles up in here, which looked weird. I tried to just have it in one solid piece, so that's why these pieces were too short. Well, there's another one floating around. But two of these, they were just a hair long. Some guys like just weld them together. I thought about it, but with me not being a professional welder, I didn't want more pieces in here than needed. So that looks good. They all look good. Like I said, plenty of heat through it. So, well, this doesn't look good, but it's good. These look real good. Like I said, thicker metal for me is a lot easier to work with. Just need to get these bars cut off or cut out, and then make a long video. This one, it's going to be long. I'll try to cut it down. I know I talked a lot, mentioned the same stuff over and over, so we'll get it cut down, video edited, and then mess around with the Monty, try to get that ready for this car show. And then if I get that ready, I'm about to do the brakes on the truck, because I want to tow it with bad brakes on it. So yeah, but that's it for the P1cruiser. I'm working on a logo for it, like I said, for decals and badges, which I have something. It's in the works. I have some ideas to send out to a buddy. He's going to tweak them a little bit. I did get an order put in for shirts and hoodies, so if you follow me on Instagram, I'll put up a post about that. If you hit me up, your order's in. Should be a couple weeks before I get them in and get them sent out. But yeah, let me know if you guys stick around and watch this much. The front is done. Let me know what you guys think of the P1cruiser and what you guys want to see next. We'll be looking for a motor shortly before it gets too cold. Probably pull one from the junkyard, freshen it up, throw it in, and we'll go from there.